crypto, Chinese banks, and the Chinese yuan. That could be a major threat to the US dollar far off in the future. Much more than this petrodollar stuff. Yes, I know some of you are freaking out or hoping that the bilateral agreements between China and Saudi Arabia of being able to buy oil from China being able to buy oil from Saudi Arabia with Chinese yuan is going to threaten the US dollar. That's not true. That's basically only for them and not for anyone else. Saudi Arabia doesn't really want too many Chinese dollars because you can't trade them on the international market due to the lack of liquidity. We've mentioned this multiple times. And your country basically has zero chance of cornering the international currency market or becoming a world reserve currency without liquidity. And because the Chinese government controls so tightly how much yuan can actually be traded for other currencies, which is basically like zero right now, it's very unlikely that China will make a dent in the global market with their yuan. However, crypto could actually solve some of these problems, depending on how closely the Chinese government restricts crypto usage. Now, the thing is, like, crypto banks like the Chinese State Bank and Bank of China are actually going to Hong Kong to court crypto companies. They want that crypto money. And it does seem like China's politicians are basically turning around in their stance on crypto because they see a possible strategic advantage they can get on the United States because they know a lot of money is coming into crypto. Those crypto firms are going to need a lot of banking. And since the US and the UK are stupidly kicking all those firms out of the United States and making them go elsewhere for banking solutions, China is happy to welcome all that money. If the mainland actually gets in the business of the crypto exchanges, that could actually build up a secondary liquidity market for the Chinese yuan if you have a bunch of Chinese yuan BTC pairs. Now, if the Chinese government completely restricts how you trade Bitcoin, like you can't really take it off the exchanges, and it's just really a brokerage system like Fidelity's right now, then you're not really going to get much. But if they actually allow a little bit more freedom, which is admittedly somewhat unlikely, and they actually allow an ecosystem to develop with the Chinese banks, that could actually provide enough liquidity for the Chinese yuan to really make some strides. So the US is jeopardizing the US dollar in the far off future by actually restricting banking access and by making very unfriendly regulations to cryptocurrencies right now. And I don't know if they're going to realize it until it's too late. They still have time, though, because China is probably not going to allow exchanges to really operate on the mainland until 2024. And if they start loosening up the restrictions, they might have to get rid of Xi Jinping, which is not very easy to do. And or if he's convinced, it'll take several years after that. So we've still got several years to go before crypto can really take hold in China. And in that time, the US has got to get their act together, because if the US lets China corner the cryptocurrency market and bank the cryptocurrency companies, the money is going to definitely follow. And if cryptocurrencies are going to become a vital part of the new economy, we don't really want China to have the advantage over the US. Now, like I said, the development in China is going to be slow. The Chinese government is going to be very conservative, like they've always been, and they're not going to like the idea of cryptocurrencies replacing, or cryptocurrencies basically like being able to be traded out of the country and helping move Chinese yuan into US dollars via that liquidity pool. But they could find a solution where they control it enough to where some kind of acceptable leakage is there, and that could build up a lot of liquidity for the Chinese yuan, which could threaten the US dollar in the future because it has this secondary liquidity. So this avenue must actually be explored, and the US could definitely be stubbing its own toe and kicking itself if this happens in the future, because they didn't really think of this and they were way too concerned with basically protecting legacy finance and legacy banks and missed out on the entire crypto boat. So that's the news for today. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe, hit that bell notifications button. Thank you and have a nice day.